you, sisters. So we move on to the next item on our program today. And this is a Q&A session. As we all know, it's been captured life in the UK as a GKS woman. When we say a GKS woman, it covers a lot. We know GKS is a Christian organization. So we mean life in the United Kingdom as a GKS, a Christian woman. But Christian here is broad, very broad, because there are many Christians in the world. But we are peculiar people. We are peculiar Christians. The Church of the Living God. Some people that call themselves Christians, we don't know what they're serving. Some of them don't even know what they're serving. But we in the GKS, we know that we are serving the living God. So life in the United Kingdom, as a Christian, a GKS woman, peculiar woman that serves God. So on this panel today, and I will ask for those online, please, we want you to take part in this. Because I know some of you that are in Manchester, Nottingham, Birmingham, and Sunderland. Some of you that are hooked up online are relatively new in the UK. Unlike a lot of us here in the hall, some of us have been here for a very long time. It is still challenging, but please, if you do have any questions, please put it online and we will talk about it. So I would like to introduce the panel that will help us with dissecting the questions that will come up. So leading the panel today is the Assistant Secretary of the GKS Women's Fellowship, United Kingdom and Ireland, Sister Maureen Ojegba, and of course a member of the National Sisters, Nigeria and abroad, Sister Maureen Ojegba. She will be helped today by our dear sister, our own Sister Rianne Oje, one of us, a very learned and important member of the yeah. Also, on the panel today is my dear beloved Juju, Sister Jumoke Ogowe. So I will hand over the mic to Sister Maureen and her panel to pilot the affair. Thank you, sisters.
Wado sisters, I rise up to give thanks to Jehovah the Almighty God and His beloved Son Jesus Christ for making it possible for us to gather here today and for giving me the opportunity to be in this panel to talk about the little I know as a GKS member in the United Kingdom, or how to navigate life in the United Kingdom. As we all know, I've been in this country now for 41 years.
I was not born
then. Yes, 41 years. Ojere was just I said 41 years. 31.
I won't say when you reach here.
31, yes.
3-1.
Yeah. It wasn't an easy journey. Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't an easy, but me and my husband, and by the grace of God, we adopt a pattern of how to communicate with the children and to deal with it, the situation on a daily basis. Because we quickly realize that life here is not the same as, because all my children were born back home, apart from Ojere. And Ojere was just 6 weeks, I took her back to Nigeria, so until we came back. So it wasn't an easy. And one thing we all very important is communication. We never stop communicating because life wasn't easy. We didn't have enough. Talk less of, say, essence. Before we do anything, we have to discuss it as a family to see if it's something we can afford. And by God's grace, that time my husband worked so hard as a cab driver. He make it as an effort for us every Sunday after service. We take the children out. If it's to just eat pizza, if it's Chinese, and the children they look forward to it. We didn't have money for holiday. We saved and we bought all of them bicycle. Husband will say, oh, today we're going to I-Park. We load our car. If you people know us, we always have big cars. We load all the bicycle, and we go. If it's to go for skating, all of them are skating. We will go for our skating. And we let them know that this is what we can afford at that time. I remember when Skype, a broadband came. When the children said, oh, you have to have broadband. There you can go online to do this. I said, okay, try. We had the broadband. And that time broadband, when you're on broadband, you can't make a phone call. So we give them, say, okay, your time is between 5 and 6. Okay. Your time is between 5 and 6. Because when you are using your broadband that time, you cannot make phone call. That time mobile phone is very expensive. And we keep on, when you say, especially walking, we explain to him to say, this is how it is. And anything they want, so mommy, we have to sit down and discuss it, the important why we need this thing, that they have to work hard so that we can get the money. We still have the video at home when we all sat down for them to debate why we should have Sky in the house. You need to see Voke on that day when it was displaying. Every time my husband played the video, I just laugh. Oh, we need it. You go to History Channel, you learn a lot, blah, 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 blah. We thought about it. And their life, the way we want them to live by the grace of God. 5 of them is not an easy work. We beg them. I know it's not the best, but that is what we knew at that time. We beg them not to bring other people to the house, because the little we know that we're telling them, that's what we can protect. We don't want interference from our side until they reach that age when they will be able to decide from. So it wasn't an easy journey, but we always give thanks to God the way they've all turned. You would think they don't pick things. They pick a lot. They pick a lot. As young as they are. I remember one year I went to Nigeria, because me and Auntie Connie, we arrange all the cooking, I get all the utensils and everything. So before I travel, I got everything ready. So when I came back, I just would say, Mommy, when we're going to church, we forget the bag. And when Elephant Castle, say, if you see the way that they turn around, say, where is the bag? They say, they came to pick it. Why I'm saying all these things is communication with our children. I know our time is different. There is no mobile phone. Elizabeth had her first mobile phone when she started uni, and it was just nothing, just to make calls. Even though the internet has taken part of the world at the moment, we should still create time, especially the ones that still have young children. Create time to talk to them. Tell them what is happening. what is going on, why you want them to do certain things, even though it's not the norm, because they will question you. Why do you say this? Why do you say that? When we used to talk on the phone about immigration paper and all those ones, because we always speak our pidgin English. At times they pick one or two things. They don't really know what they sense it, but they don't really know what we're talking about. Until Voke went to uni, they wanted to go to Holland. So he phoned me, he said, Mommy, now I know why you talk about paper. I said, what happened to paper? He said, we want to go to Holland. One boy cannot go. He said he doesn't have paper. He said, then he said, oh, that's what my mom always talk about. He said, look at me, I came to uni, did it last 1 week, I lost my British passport. I said, so, I said, I'm happy you know that now. So, that time when we came, me and my husband, all we prayed. We say, God, we know we don't have the paper to live here. You know why we are here. It's to give our children the life we don't have. We're not here to commit anything. We are hard-working people to bring up our children. And we should try to equip ourselves with so many answers, because our children will ask us a lot of questions, especially the younger ones. They know so much, and when you are able to answer them, they happy when you give them the right answer. So for now, I'm going to see them. If anybody have any question they want to ask us, we'll try our best to answer the questions. Thank you.
Angle that is slightly different from Sister Maureen, given that I know she did mention when they came in, they had to navigate their immigration status route. I think our route is similar to the current JAPA system, which means we came legally. My husband came as a student. But one thing that resonates with me was the fact that if I was born, I was born into a Muslim family, I'll start from there, and then eventually got married into a Christian one. And I think the very first thing I learned in the Bible, and still stick to me today, is Proverbs 31, verses 10 to 31. Where it talks about the woman who fears God.
Virtuous woman.
It tells us a lot about what it is to be a wife, a mother, and a carer generally as a woman, what we need to do. And one thing I've picked from there, even why in Nigeria, was that I'm a supporter to my husband, but I also need to work hard to bring to the table. So I came with that mindset to the UK, and then what it does is it already prepared me that I have to get going. Coming in as a student means the person who is the main student, can only work 20 hours, while the dependent is the one who is able to work more hours. And yeah, we came with some money for school fees and all of that, but given the conversion rate and everything, the money went down quickly. And what it means is that brothers asked to go to school, there wasn't enough time for him to even work more than the 20 hours. I have to fill in the gap. Yeah, without questioning how much I work, that is another thing. That Proverbs 31, verses 10 to 31, what it says is like a template for every woman. Irrespective of the geographical location we have, if we take that as our template, I think it will help us to be able to navigate even when we come from wherever in the world, and then we are in the UK. Because I was already able to think, okay, even if I was bringing more in at that point, money-wise to the table, I still see him as the head. I still see that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a faithful woman. And then I was, so it's sort of broadening and strengthening our communication, like Sister Maureen said, which means I'm calm. I was able to maintain my calmness, support the family, and avoid any form of argument or quarrel that could come up, as we've seen a lot on Facebook or wherever now. With the JAPA system, we see a lot of families coming in and breaking up so quickly. These are families that are united before they come. So it is important that Proverbs, as Christian woman, that bit of the Bible, and I know there are other examples in the Bible, but if we have a template in the Bible that we are there to receive to, even when things seems very difficult, I still then go back and think. It doesn't matter, I am just going to forge ahead. And another thing is that we need to remain focused as women. Very, very focused. Yeah? When we come in, we do all sorts of manual job to be able to put money on the table. But again, it is important that as we look after the husband, look after the kids, we also think of ourselves. We also need to grow. We need to develop ourselves. It's important. Yeah? And I think communicating, and I would say my husband has really helped me in that area as well. Because at a point, because I was able to, actually, one of my first job here was as a chef. Not a chef, sous chef, no? Assistant. Yeah. You know, when you work in the kitchen assistant. Yeah. And because I was seen as a dedicated person, quickly, somehow I became a sous chef within 1 year. Somehow, Queen Mary Hospital, I remember very well, then created maternity section catering, saying that people who came to have children are not sick, so they should eat well. So quickly they moved me to be the chef in that maternity ward. And I was there, I was like, The first came and said, I did not marry. Don't get me wrong, being a chef is a profession. Some people do it as a profession and they do it well. But of course, he signed up to something. And then he used to work in Queen Mary's as well then. So he spoke to one of his patients, and then they quickly brought me back into my accounting line to say, no, you need to start your ACCA now. Don't forget it. Yeah. So what that means is that as we struggle, as we grow, we should remember that we are coming from somewhere. We shouldn't forget whatever professional, being a chef. If you want to be a cleaner, you can open up a company at some point. Do it to your best. That is the way you can provide the best support to your family. And then, of course, irrespective, whatever so kind of work I do, the time it requires, I always make sure that I create that time to be able to be there for my children. We came with money. Money was only one when we came. So it's been 20 years plus, which means, bros will say, I don't care the job you do, but make sure that job can pay nanny. You know, like, you can't just leave. I don't know, some of you already know this. I don't keep my children to say, help me look up. No. I pay for the service through house. It's important that we think about all of this. I know there is a lot of struggle, but again, communicating with your spouse, with your children as they grow, will help us all to get there. And I think for now.
Thank you. Thank you. Well done.
Well, I think my journey has been completely different than yours. That's
the whole idea. That's the idea.
I think it's an interesting one to mention because I think especially when we look at our children, there might be more people from different backgrounds coming into the church. So I'm originally born and bred in the Netherlands, and I came here almost 25 years ago as well, something like that, to study. So I grew up in a very liberal household. Very kind of like make your own mistakes, do your own thing. My mom raised me like, to be a strong, independent woman. Don't be dependent on anybody basically. So that was kind of the mindset I had when I came here and I came to study. And I was very, very ambitious. And I still am, but I'll come to that in a minute. I was probably in the UK for about 4 months when I met my husband. And it took us about 6 months before we kind of started courting each other, and I was interested. But I was very much of the mindset like, I don't need anybody, I have my career path, this is what I'm going to do. Once we started sort of getting to know each other, it was another few years before I started coming to church, something changed. And I think that's very, very important to mention because the way I see it is commitment. You don't just do it half-hearted. And I think, like Jumika said, is that learn what you're supposed to do as a woman, but don't put yourself down. I think what they say, what the Bible says is a good wife or good woman is like more precious than rubies or something like that. My husband has always supported me throughout in all my crazy career moves, in all my kind of education, whatever I wanted to do. But similar to what we've heard from our two sisters before, is my husband's the head of the house, and I've always respected that. Yes, he supports me. If I need to travel, as everybody knows, I travel a lot for work. He will help look after the children with my mum. You know, he's never stopped me from doing anything, but he always questions like, what do you think? What do you want to do? What is good? I think the biggest change, I would say, for me personally, is going from I don't need anybody, you know, my husband can't tell me what to do, to realizing that actually you're a team. You're not supposed to fight each other. Yes, you need each other, you're a team, and together you're much, much stronger to get where you want. And that's kind of what I took away from that, and that's the example I want to give to my children as well. I've got two girls. I want them to see that, yes, mum works, mum's ambitious, mum's doing really well in life. However, I have respect at home, I look after them, I cook, I still do all the things that a wife is supposed to be doing. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. But I want to set a good example for them so that they can follow their dreams, but in a Christian manner. And that's why I leave it to them as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions, sisters?
Let me ask a question, please. My assistant. My question is based on the children. As someone who engages with young people, what I face with majority of people with different ethnic background from here is quite huge. And I've noticed what we call love from back home is seen as an abuse here. Many of the young people that I support that are from different ethnic background from here, particularly Asian and Africans, they have huge safeguarding concern always, because they think their home is not like the home of others in terms of what people are allowed to do and what people are not allowed to do. I find myself in a situation where deep down in me, I understand and I know that this is culture and it's our own definition of love. Also deep down in me, I know I've got a duty of care to also report anything that is safeguarding. So my question now is this. A lot of us growing up, bringing up children here in the United Kingdom, from my experience, a lot of children today are struggling with their mental health. And when they tell you the reason why they are struggling, these are things that we saw and we took as love. So, how can you advise, being someone in this background, who's lived also in the UK, and you've brought up children in the UK, how can you advise us, especially those ones that just come in, a lot of them online listening to us, what is the best way to strike that balance? Because when I have time to speak to parents from our background, I try to explain to them that this place is not Nigeria. We have to meet them in the middle. Even me, what I am accepting now from my kids, sometimes I ask myself, and I say, now you didn't allow these things. But we don't have the choice. If we see them going somewhere, because they are redefining our love, it took me time to come to this point. So I want us to quickly, or to talk on this, because a lot of us, especially those ones that just came in through this visa stuff, they will be going through a lot. A lot, because I know what I see with children in school. Some finish school, they don't want to go home. They go to safeguarding, saying because they got a negative point, their dad is going to do this, their dad is going to do that, mom is going to do this, mom is going to do that. But I said, but when you got the positive point, what did they do? Is it not because you got that negative point, but at the end, I am, so that they don't add me to them. I have to be very, very careful. So we need, I think, us, the people, everybody watching, all women, because this is going to go on YouTube. Women, black origin, Asian origin that are here. What advice can you give to them in order for them to meet these kids at the middle ground? We are not throwing away our culture, but they need to meet at the middle ground. Please, thank you.
Thank you, Sister that is a very important one. Bringing up children in this part of the world, especially like me that brought my children from Nigeria. It wasn't easy. Like as I said, communication is the main. We let them know, me and my husband, that we don't know the culture yet. Whatever we tell them is what we know, and we think is good for them. But if they think it's not good, they should tell us. Like Agogo, my middle daughter, she was the one that wanted to give us son. She told me straight, it's I'm a middle child. When Desiree was born, girl, Voke came, boy. He said, when I was born, nothing happened. He said, Mommy, we did it psychology. I have a middle child syndrome.
That's what some of them.
So I like to do things for people to notice me. Because I'm not noticed yet. I said, of course you are noticed.
Someone has told me that.
You can say that. So, it still comes back to communication. One teacher in my children's school when we just came, Mrs. Britton, said, Igbo lady married to a white man. She said, this place is not easy to bring up children, but I will encourage you to make sure you communicate with your children. Make sure they are well dressed all the time. That is the time when they pick on children to see how they make sure they don't come to school with scruffy, dry face. That time we walk at my husband does night, I does day. I leave home to go, he gets them ready. You see me, that time no phone call. Once you leave home, you left. It's when I come, I'll say, Andy, you know, please, we'll talk about it. So, it's still communication, and let the children know that whatever you're telling them, that is what you know now. And that is what the way you were brought up. And I'm sure they can see that you didn't come out too bad. There is no end in learning. Our focus at that time is to bring up the children. All what our concern, how we're going to move from stage to stage. Now, we look at ourselves. Nobody to talk to now. But that time, you say, oh, these children, can't wait for them to grow up. Now, me and Ojoy, I have not seen Ojoy for 2 days. I saw her this morning saying, but you know I'm here. I say, yes. So, we should still explain to them certain decisions we're taking. Even though other people are not doing what other people are not doing what we are doing. That is what we know. It will come to a time, like as I was telling them, it will come to a time when you will be making this decision on your own. I'm not going to follow you to your houses. You will be doing things on your own. That time you will be phoning me, Mommy, this thing. They refer back. Even now that they don't come to service. There is no Sunday that one of them will not phone to say, Mommy, how was service today? Was Stakoni there? If I say Stakoni, oh, why is she not there today? I say, you know, they move very far. Is this there? Is this there?
Come and see yourself.
Yes, they will be asking. I said, this question you're asking. He said, no, you think, we know what is happening. They know what is happening.
Speaking of the loss.
We should keep on telling them. They will challenge you. If you cannot give the answer at that particular moment, tell them I will come back to you. Like one trick my husband used on them. If you don't want to tell me the truth, tell me you don't want to talk. And I will not ask you. That time they always say, oh, Jerry has wrapped you around your finger. Every time Jerry says, I don't want to talk. And he was okay. And because of that, she won't tell any lie. It's okay. You don't want to talk? Go. We should not force them to explain. If they are not ready to talk, just leave them. They go through a lot of difficulties. Like when things are happening, I rely on a destiny and Agogo to deal with it. So when they say, Mommy, don't ask any question, we've sorted it out. And once they tell me that, I leave it. When my husband can say it's been sorted out, we should still respect them. Not everything we want to dig in. Their lifestyle is not our lifestyle. There is no way we're going to explain it to them. But we just have to be very calm and deal with it in a gentle manner. They will never hate you. We can never buy our children's love with anything. They are our children, we are their parents. And when we do things and they see what we do, I always hold the advice my mom gave to me, that you are the only one. There is no one like you. There is no two people on this earth. People can do things if you can have that at the back of your mind, that everybody is an individual. You will know that when anything happens, it will not bother you. Our children will not take our character. If that is what we're trying to imbibe in them, it's not going to work. We'll allow them to create their paths while we are giving them advice and how to navigate it. You always tell them, I'm here. If you want to talk, come and talk to me. The world is not an easy place now. I always say it, I feel for people that have young children now. It's not an easy place to bring up children. But we should continue to pray and communicate with the children. It all dwells down to communication. Be open with these children. Don't live a false life, so that they don't start to think. So, what did she just say? This. Be open and let them know that what you are telling them is what you know. You don't know more than this. By God's grace, we will put it in prayer as we GKS member. It's not an easy journey to bring up children in this part of the world. Or talk less of this time now that life has changed. Thank you.
Two of them.
Yeah, I would like to add to that. I think aside from us knowing that every child is an individual, I think perhaps I've learned in a difficult way. I used to go like all the way cultural, like with my kids.
Just like me.
And I find out that why that template work with one,
Work
it's
with
not
others.
particularly working with the rest.
Of course.
So previously, I laugh at people when they reading all these books about parenting, and laugh and think, what you do? Or when somebody tell me I'm a child counselor, in my mind, you really got a job, you know? And then back home, where we come from in Nigeria, there are certain courses you do, and people think, what's she going to do with that?
Yes.
But in this country, I tell you, all those courses matters. They do matters a lot. And for me now, why I try not to discard the cultural bit, I also will read a lot of parenting books. I will watch parenting programs so that I'm sort of applying a blend of both. And that is working for us. Like I said, I try to go 100% culturally, and I will say to those people that are new in the country, it doesn't work in. It did work partially for me. But currently, I can't do nothing without the blend of the two.
Of course. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I think there's two things I really want to add to that. So the first one, I think, even though don't go fully culture, it's okay to have boundaries. And I think those boundaries are important, and you have to be consistent.
Very important.
I think where, as parents, and I include myself in that, sometimes we have ambitions for our children because we want them to do well, we want them to exceed past our own successes. I think a lot of the church members that have come to this country, they're obviously really trying to do the best for their children. What I think is, what they need to understand is that what is being said, every child is different. You know, don't praise the grades, praise the effort. That's my philosophy at home, is that as long as you put in your best, it's fine. The destination is the same. Some people go there in straight lines, some people take a lot of detours. I think it's important as well to sometimes understand maybe there's something that these children need in terms of extra support, and it's important for them, for parents to understand that. I can speak from my own experience. Obviously, Chukuma, you know, since he was born, he's high flyer, good at everything kind of going easy, when we've had obviously difficult times as well with him. So when, you know, Laura came along, I was like, that's the way I parent. Like, I'm doing good. I have the hang of this is going great. Until it doesn't. And that's when you need to learn that, you know, maybe there's other things at play. Broaden your minds. That somebody might not think the way you think. And how can you best support them? How can they thrive? Like I said, Chukuma probably goes straight down the road, you know, find his destination as fast as he can. Laura might need a few kind of detours or whatever, but it doesn't matter, because what matters is the end of the road. And as a parent, we should support them no matter what. And I think that is what is important, is understanding your child. And I think the third one, which I struggle with a lot, is as parents, we're so busy trying to make the life of our children better. We work so many hours, we cook, we clean, we have so many things going on, that sometimes if you think they misbehave, maybe it's a cry for, they want attention, they want some time with you. Stop what you're doing. Does it really matter that the washing is not folded? Does it really matter the kitchen is not spotless? Sit down with your child and spend some time, and you will find that might be the first kind of step towards a more communicative relationship and an understanding relationship with each other.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Just said about stop. Because a lot of us were too eager to just keep walking. Now I need to buy that, do that. And when you said it, what just came to my mind is, I remember Tarila Muzezi and Omoife. Omoife came a bit later. But Tarila and Muzezi are like this, very close, me and them, as you all know. And there's something that we always do, that's why I'm fat. For many years, me and Tarila, and then when Omoife came along, we did that. Every Saturday, somebody knows. Every evening we watch programs together. We have programs, EastEnders, we can tell you about EastEnders from whenever. Housewives, till tomorrow, we all sit down together to watch it. And every Saturday we'll have a cake and custard evening. All of us, every day, every Saturday we are sat together. And I'm asking them, what's going on? They'll ask me what I'm saying. So me and them will talk, you know. So there is nothing today about me that they don't know. Very important. And there's nothing about them that I don't know. And that is very important. It's very important that when we are raising our children here, that they are not strangers to us. Because when they become strangers, that's when they run into problems. They need to be able to come to you and say, oh my God, Mom, okay, you can't believe what I've just done. I'm like, what have you done now? and they will tell you, and then, don't worry, it's not the end of the world, and you move on. One of my colleagues used to be a teacher, and when we talk about children and all of that, she's a Jamaican woman. She'll tell me, say, Connie, you know what? A lot of the children that go bad in this country, in school, that drop out, maybe you'll be able to testify, are children that are brought here from Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe. They're the ones that end up in gangs more than the ones that are born here.
Because the home is not there for them.
Absolutely. So that's why those that have come in now with their children need to be very careful of all those statistics, that they keep watch of those kind of things. So that's my little input into that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sisters. Sister Ariane, I just want to reiterate what you said. That step back, take a step back. It is very important. And that's something we hardly do. I remember when I was also working in the hospitals, 12-hour shift, when I come home. Before they had even say hello, mom. Now wait! I won't even give them the opportunity. I was only saying hello to you. Okay. My teacher said, I don't have money. I've told you I don't have money. So we're not taking that step back. And before we know it, all right. At the time, Brakemi went to school and she came back and she said, well, my teacher said something, but I told her you don't have money. I said, oh, did I say she said, well, you keep saying you don't have money. I don't even know why you're working if you don't have money. All that thing. But what I want to say is, even if they are old, and this is something she does till tomorrow, she comes to me to say, you haven't given me a cuddle today. I say, even old woman like you, every time cuddle. Let us take that step back and give them the cuddle. They still need us. We still need them. And if you don't keep that good relationship, there are things that we will miss out because it will come across as, don't tell her, she won't bother. Don't tell him, she won't bother. Brakemi is my confidant. She tells me how it is and tells me when I have gone wrong. We call her small madam, house manager. You can't do something wrong in that house that she will not get involved and not get upset if she's not aware of. So in essence, what I'm actually saying is that what Sister Ariane said is, let us not give that opportunity to push them away by saying I'm busy, and we miss out the opportunities of bringing them together and confiding in us and telling us their problems. Because if we don't, they go outside and get the wrong information. As mothers, sisters, even when they come to us here in church, let us not condemn them. The other thing also I would like to add is, we have our children, especially the young brothers, we find out that they know what is outside. They come back, they say, I want to do this. I want to sag my trouser. I want to put my shirt on, I want to pierce my ear, I want to plait my hair. There are ways we can talk about it that would, rather than pushing them away, God forbid, you can't do this in this house, you cannot stay in this house, if you can't say, get out of this house. When they go, they are gone. It's your loss, it's outside people's game. So there are ways you talk about it. When things happen like this, they want to do this, is that what you like? And will you be able to carry that piercing and hair to church? If you cannot and you think you want to do it the way you like. For me as a mother, it's your decision, but I don't know how. In a way that you're not pushing them completely out, but encouraging them. And I tell you, it will pass. Because it's just that period of, I want to belong.
Of course.
Let them belong and come back. We are in the house. We will welcome
Wait
you.
for them back.
So I felt I should just add that whatever we're doing, let us just continue to put ourselves together, support our families, our children, our husband, and the church. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you. Yeah, just as a follow-up to what Sister Ebi said, or what she mentioned, it's just, I know it's difficult, very, very difficult sometimes. But let's realize that every human being, no matter what age they have a voice. And that voice should be respected. I know our culture is difficult. And those of us that were born and bred and buttered in that culture, you look at it and it's difficult for you to do it. You know, sometimes you sit down, a little thing as if your child comes and say, "Mommy, give me something from fridge." Some parents will be like, "What? Am I your mate? Why are you asking me to give you something from fridge?" We used to be like that, but the world is changing, and the society we have. I'm saying this because I know a lot, and most of the students from black background, they are lucky. They even say it, that I am the person supporting them through that. Even though in my mind I know what they are going through, I still want to ensure their welfare. I know both culture, and I know how to support them towards that. At the end of the day, I will still report it. But when I report it, I might give suggestion. Maybe just allow me to call them on, and I think more need support, rather than this or rather than that. So they do have a voice. Sometimes, when they bring something to us, let's ask them the question. You want to plait your hair? Why? Okay, because if it is because others are doing it, try to bring them up. Because like Sister Riyad said, boundary is very necessary. In as much as we want them to be our friend, we want to listen to them, we must have boundary. Because if you look at the definition of safeguarding, it comes with 5 elements. And one of the elements is this: that child must have a responsible adult to guide them through life in order for them to become a responsible adult. And I keep echoing this to children. I say, you know what? The way your brain works now, in 3-5 years' time, when that brain matures, you will look back and say, what? Did I really do that? But now, because your brain is just that way now, you need an adult. And there is a reason why you are not allowed to make certain decisions until you are 18. And because of that, you've got us as your responsible adult. And there are certain things that you don't know now that you think you know, but we are telling you now, we have to guide you through. The Bible says we are responsible. Parents, train up your child in the way of the Lord. The law, safeguarding, says it. A responsible adult must guide you until you are 18. And as such, this is where the boundary comes in. But if you are giving that child voice, instead of jumping into, no, you're not doing it. No, ask them, why do you want to do it? Okay, I want to do it because this person said this. Okay, it's because of that person, not because of you. You know what? If you continue to do something because of something, it will affect your self-esteem later. Let's explain what self-esteem is. I will explain to you. I will explain to you. This is what it is. This is what. If you do it like this, this is the repercussion. But mom, it's just hair. But Miss Arubi, I only just plait my hair. What's wrong with my mom? I'm like, okay, you only just plait your hair. To you now, it's only just plait. But there is something. There's something called culture. There's something called norms. Let's take the time to explain this. After explaining it, give them the advantages, give them the disadvantages. And say, you know what? The choice is yours now. If you choose this is what will happen. If you choose that is what will happen. You might end up learning in a very, very hard way. Because you didn't listen, and you go in. When we were growing up, we know a lot about sin of disobedience. But if I say sin of disobedience, they are looking at it. They don't know what sin of disobedience is. But one day you call their attention to it. So it's meeting them at the middle is why that boundary is there. I'm very glad you brought that boundary in. Very, very important. Why that boundary is there, still leave it open. We know we are very strict. No is no. But now it's about communication. I bring Sister Doreen in again. It's about communication. Communicate with them and let them know Let them tell you why they want it like that. Okay, I want to go and drink alcohol. Some of them, they are drinking it already. If you know what is happening in schools, inside toilet and everything, you will go home and continue to pray. Even year 7, they are vaping already. Year 6, they just come in within 2, they are vaping already. Sometimes I see some good students, they're being lured into vaping. And when I see them, you need to see me, I'm like, Mama, come here, come. Because we can choose friends. Because otherwise, the other person parent will start calling to say, that means that saying my child should not be this, it's against this, you get into trouble. I sit them down, I just tell them, you know what, we cannot choose your friend. But I'm seeing you with certain people. What I just want you to know is this. If somebody tell you to come and do something, are you able to say no? If they say, yes, miss, I'm able to say no, are you sure? If you're struggling to say no, come and talk to us. We will support you. There is mentoring session on how to be firm and stand by your ground. So one thing is this. Let's know that they have voice. Let's give them choices. Let's tell them the advantages and disadvantages. Let's advise them on the best way to go. And depending on their age, which one they choose, go on your knee and begin to pray. Thank you.
Why to do this? After raising 2 kids and a granddaughter, and my daughter happens to be like Sister Daze, who is a social worker, who is a counselor and everything you can think of. She condemns African way of bringing up children. I have the argument with her every day. Mom, you guys are too harsh. Mom, you guys, everything is negative. Mom, you guys does this. Yes, as we've all said, I don't want to repeat everything that everybody has said. If a child comes and says they want to clap their head, it's not the end of the world. We should just accept it. It's what they see their friends doing. They feel they don't belong. I've got my granddaughter now. She's giving my daughter tough time. But you know what? She knows how to handle her. And then that when we come, Grandma, look at what my mom said to me. She goes on and my daughter will say, Mom, don't say anything. The way she disciplines her is take her phone from her. Then she will tell her, when my mom wants to discipline me, she smacks me, as at that time. We bring that, is the way we were raised. Mm-hmm. We now come, we're doing it to our children. I have to, at this old age, start apologizing to my daughter because it stays in her head for a very long time that I was smacking her when she was a child. I didn't know it was that bad.
And to us, it's love.
To us, it's love.
Don't spare the rod.
She told me one day, Mom, you never allow me to go, what do they call it? Sleepover. Mom, you never allow me to go sleepover. I went through my childhood without one sleepover. And I said to her, I did what was best. As at the time I was raising you guys up, I don't know the person you are going to sleep over with.
Exactly.
Why would I want to allow you to go and sleep in somebody's house? Who she's telling me the mother is 35, and the daughter is 15, and she has had a grandchild.
Yeah, they're like that.
The person she wants to go and sleep, the mother is 35 and she has a grandchild. And she said I should allow her. I said, no, sorry, you're not going anywhere. But as at then, that's the way we were brought up. We will not allow our children to do. So my advice to the people that have come, yes, our children, they're happy that they've left a difficult situation and they've come to an environment. We should be careful the way we caution them. They will come home and tell you what they want to do because of things they've seen outside. We now have to sit down, as everybody has said, and communicate with them, explain to them that the culture here is different from the culture where we come back. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when they are old, they cannot depart from it. My same daughter that is telling me I was harsh, same daughter told me, Mom, if not the discipline you gave to me, exactly, I won't be able to bring up my daughter.
Exactly.
And if that's her second mother here, my daughter, we are cat and dog, but she loves me and I love her the way we do.
Of course.
Because it's like, as you said, I tell her everything, and she tells me everything.
So when she's angry, Mom, you've done this, Mom, you've done that, I say, yes, I did this because of this. So at my old age, I have to apologize. This is why I did what I did. I didn't know you were still hanging to it up till now. So please forgive me and let's move on. Because she's like, oh, you didn't allow me to enjoy my childhood. Yeah, at adulthood, she's telling me you didn't allow me to enjoy my childhood. What did I do? Because I didn't allow her to go sleep over.
Yeah.
So please,
They say
I'm
that.
talking to those who come in. I mean, some of you here, you've been,
Of course.
been for a long time. We should nurture our children. The most important thing when they go to school and come back, sit with them, ask them how their day goes. Especially the young ones. Who is your friend? I go Ayana, you could know Ayana, she was coming like this one. Now Ayana is this. Every day she has big friend. Oh, I got my best friend. This one she'll call. How many best friends do you have? Every day she has one new best friend. Again, it's for you to now find out who are these best friends, who are these people they are hanging out with. Because you don't know these are the people. As you said, Ayana is telling me somebody in their age, they are having tape-on. They are on the bus going, and this child that is between her and her class, smoking. And then she asks her, why are you doing that? He said, oh, because they asked me to. You don't have to belong. Ayana is now telling her, you don't have to belong. Can you imagine? It's the upbringing she has.
Of
That's
course.
why she can tell this person,
It
you don't have
sticks
to
in.
do that. Or they will be fighting, and they are videoing
They do video and put it
their
on.
mates. And they come and start playing and
Even though
I
it's
say,
not
Ayana,
allowed.
you don't,
They
say,
get in
"Mom,
trouble
I
when
don't-
caught."
No, don't get involved with them. But these are the things our children are doing that we don't know about. So if we don't come back with them and sit down and say, how did your day go? Just as Sister Agaze was saying, asking somebody, how are you? We should ask our children, how was your day? I have to learn in the habit. I've told you guys. My daughter now, I have to call her like once a week to say, how is your week? It goes a long way. Maybe because we are not in the same house. When we are in the same house, we had that communication. But now that we are not, I still call her. Sometimes we could be on the phone for 2 hours. She's telling me the whole of her week. Same with our children. We should have that one-to-one time. And different children, different time. Don't join them together because they're all different. You could have 3 or 4 boys, or 2 girls, 1 boy. Don't put them together because one person might not want to say what they feel like with the other person. But if we all have time, different days, and say, oh, maybe Monday, you can even have the same day, but different time. We'll find that we'll go a long way. The learning that they had from Nigeria when they got here, they will not forget it. They will not. Especially the ones when they know how to recite who is Jehovah, who is Jesus Christ, and it's there. That's the way they were brought up. That's why it stays with them. So if we've taught our children what is good and bad, even when they go out there and they see people doing things, they might joke, they might laugh, but when they go out, they know that is wrong. And that's why we as parents have to make sure we are there for them.
Thank you. Any question there? Online? Any question online? Okay, so they don't cover everything. Okay, I just want to let me off this one.
Like the way this our country is, the way this our country is now, is far different.
Different.
That time. And at that time, our children, my husband first come before me. I joined him. Year 1960. Then I was looking for a job. Job is easy to get. One of our members said, okay, see where I'm working, and I would like you to come and join me. I said, okay. To I joined her. As that time, I take in, then that woman that I was working with, she have no issue with children at all. So she come ask me one day, man, I said yes. He said, so when I tell you, good night, have a good night, enjoy yourself with your husband, so you go and pregnant. Why you are telling me like that? I am Mrs. So in Africa, we don't marry to enjoy ourselves. We marry to have children. So she said, is that so? I said, from then, she was just giving me different
attitude
of things to do, whether I will not. I said, okay, since you said, that's how we let us play the game together. When she do me like this, I look at her. So after some time, we became a friend. And when I born my first child, she said, when you have your baby, can you allow me to come and see your baby? I said, don't worry, I will tell you. So when I had the baby, I didn't see who tell her. When they don't discharge me from the hospital, I really call her. I said, Mrs. Bishop. She said, yes, my African lady. How are you? I said, I'm fine. I've already go to bed. He said, what did you have? I said, baby boy. Oh, I'm coming to see you. I'm coming to see you. I said, no, you know, but now, self, to cut everything short, if you really look the way they are doing things now, there's a big difference in this country. So the only thing, we know what to bring us back home, so we have to bear whatever we see. And come to the matter of where we're bringing up our children, it's very, very necessary. For the first time, I tackle with them to speak my language. They say, I'm not an African. I say, you're an African. You're an African. You're already British by birth, but by right, you're an African. I say, oh, this is serious job. I said, it is it. That is how I come, do with them. Some of them speaking in proper language. I said, because my mother is not an educated. So when you get back home, who is going to be your interpreter? I'm not an educated, so I can't be your interpreter. So, true. With our Nigeria food, we give them, they eat everything. So, true. That is why you say, OJ can speak different language. Can speak Bini, can speak the only language when I haven't heard from him is Igbo language. So it is true. The way we bring our children, different. That's the way they will come. Yeah. So thank you.
I don't hear that. When I don't go out, go enjoy with you.
And start again. Okay. I just want to make one point. Then I will ask question for them to take round up. The point I want to make is this: why we are here talking about how to bring up children, how to meet them in the middle, how to do this and how to do that. We also need to recognize that there are parents that do all these, yet these children are still not who they are supposed to be. And to those parents, just to know that it's not your fault. That Sister A children are doing well does not mean that you are a bad parent. Whatever effort you're putting in, keep putting in and continue to pray. Because at the end, everything comes from God. When it is God's time to touch the life of that child, everything that you have told that child will never go. It will not lost. it is what they will use to build up themselves. So if our children are not where we want them to be, do not blame yourself. Continue doing what you're doing. That is just the point I want to make. Because it's not all rosy for everyone, despite the efforts that they try to put in. But we will continue to pray. Because we want them where we want them to be. And that prayer will never go unanswered. In God's time, He will answer that prayer, and all those our children will come out exactly as God wants them to be, as we have trained them to be. So we'll continue to pray. The last thing I just want to say is for them to maybe use it to round up. If a child comes to you and says, so because your father brought you up like this and your mom brought you up like this, you want to bring me up like that as well. Why? What will you say to them? That's me done. Thank you.
Because that's a very interesting question for my children. The way I train them is like, I don't see either of our cultures superior. What I teach them is to take the best and the most positive bits from each of the cultures that you think and create your own sort of like super culture, I guess. And that's, I think that's really important. But there's just one more point I would like to make as well. And I think a lot has been said, but I think most importantly, you have to be an example for your children. So if you tell them not to do something, don't do it. Don't do it. If you don't like your children involved in friend drama, don't create drama at home, start gossiping on the phone.
Exactly. They are, yeah. That's a very good one, yeah.
You know, a very relatable one is the mobile phones everybody keeps referring to. We ourselves are the worst offenders of that as parents. Put our phone down. That will create that example. I know, you know, what I say, it's kind of a perfect picture. You know, I struggle with certain things as well, but ultimately we are an example to our children, and keep that in mind, and just focus on them, you know, and keep praying and keep the faith, and then it will, like you said, it will end.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sister. Yeah. Thank you.
Sister Afro Obafemi, because Sister Afro Obafemi is also a sister among us who comes from a culture that is family orientated. The Greek family values the family a lot, and she has been among us for a very long time. So how has she navigated mixing these two families?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's a very good question. I have been around for a very long time because I met the chairman in 1985. We've been married 38 years. Wow. And we have Thomas and Samuel, who's 37 and 34. My background, I was born in Coventry. My parents were refugees. My mum was Greek. My father was from Yugoslavia. They came here after the Second World War. So that was very difficult for them with the language barriers and all the rest, but they made a life together. Unfortunately, my dad died in 1970. I was 5. And then so it was very difficult for Mum. She single parent. There wasn't a lot of support. There wasn't all of this, the benefits that, you know, I'm not saying it's easy now, but back then it was even harder for her because she was a foreigner in the UK, didn't know the language very well. So, but you know, she raised myself and my brother, who's 5 years older than me, the best that she could. And we didn't have a lot of money, we were quite poor, but we just made the best of it, and we did. My brother ended up getting a scholarship. He went to grammar school and university. I went to secondary school. I didn't have all of those. Yeah, you know. So whatever, I made the best of it anyway.
That's the most important thing.
Then I met the chairman. I had a job. I was working full time. He was working as a student because he was at uni at South Bank, and that was in 1985. And then we started going out together. And then I was introduced. Actually, it was President Otomawa. I actually met him before we married, and he gave his blessing, which was really good. And Sister Tuba was around at that time as well. and then started going to Lambeth Mission.
Yeah.
That was the very first time, and that's where I know of yourself, and also Rianne was there at the beginning as well, weren't you, Rianne? And Sister Connie, and so the church has evolved so much. You know, there were 10 members, 10, 15, 20 members, you know, back then in Lambeth Mission, and it was quite nice. It was like a family unit, you know. And as people came to the UK and they joined, and you know, and now look at the way everything is. But yeah, my mum was Greek Orthodox. Obviously, she's passed away now, you know that. So, but yeah, she was very strict. She only had to look, and you sat. You sat still, and I did sit still. You know, and that is very, you know, the woman does the cooking, the woman does the cleaning. I was raised like that, and I have maintained that in the household. Chairman doesn't really do a great deal in the house. But anyway, that's fine. He has a lot to do with his duties in the church, you know, and that takes up a lot of his time, and that's fine. In terms of my children, the two boys, that is very challenging. It has been a very challenging time with them, because nobody teaches you how to raise your children.
Of course.
There isn't a book. There is nothing, you know, my mum was very supportive. She would come and stay, and, you know, she did her best. But I think the danger with now is they're fine up to primary school. It's when they start secondary school that, you know, the problems begin, and that is where, you know, you have to really tread very carefully in how you parent your children, and it really does depend on the child that you have. You know, because you can, like Sister Jumoke said, you can have, you know, 3 different children, and they're 3 different personalities. One will follow, the other one may not.
May not,
and
yeah.
I have 2 very, they're very strong, independent young men. They've done very well for themselves, but unfortunately, they don't come to church. Okay, but they know everything they need to know. They understand everything. They respect their dad. There is all of that. So we just hope that one day they will see the light.
By the grace of God. By the grace
We may
of God.
see them one day. Who knows?
Yeah.
Might grace us with their presence.
By the grace of God.
But you know, but they turned out good. They've done well for themselves. But that part hasn't been an easy journey.
Yeah.
In particular for the chairman, because of his position.
Of course, yeah.
You know, it's not so much, I support the chairman, I always have, and I will continue to do so, but, you know, it's difficult for me as well. You know how I am, so I'm not going to sit here and
Yeah.
I'm a very independent person as well. That is very important to me, just as Rianne has said. It is important for you to be independent of the man, but at the same time be interdependent as well.
Of course.
Because you need that for yourself. You know, don't ever be a needy woman.
No.
You know, stand up for yourself. and you know, and I've always been like my mum. She was that person. You know, she had to stand up for herself when my dad died, and it was very difficult for her. And so, you know, me and my brother, we have a lot of respect for her. But anyway, so yeah, that's. Really
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Yay!
For me, it's more like a question. I know I'm on the side. Yeah, for me, as you all would have known, my son Ellie doesn't come more often anymore.
Yeah.
And why? Because he feels breathing is here. We make him more organized. And it took a toll, you know, like, you can't do that. How will bring you to church if you pat your head, blah, 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 blah. It took a brother in the church, actually Brother Eddie, to intervene, to allow my bros to allow him to play the game. He did a whole lot of talking to him, like, you know, like, telling him the things he needs to ask, the question to ask, like you said, that when they say they want to do something,
ask them.
A lot of asking. He actually told the school we're preventing, and he knows it's because of religion, it's because of our church and all of that. It's been a challenge. It doesn't mix up, it doesn't hang out. That is another thing. You could have a child who doesn't hang out, is a good orator.
Of course.
He put up statements in school, you know, like the school had to call us to say he needs to, we should allow him, he's a man of himself.
My able presenter.
So yes, they might not be in gang, they might not have friends, they might be stick to their book, but they still sometimes will come and tell you they want to do things you can't imagine. Yeah? I remember there is also I also feel that sometimes there is clash in biblical teaching and some of the things we try to say to our kids. Because every time I say, why would you want to cut your hair? And she goes, I'm just going to be more organized. That's what he keeps saying.
That's what most of them say.
It is youth, and we want to enjoy his youth now. I don't want to do that as a corporate person. I need to experience it now, and all of that. This is what he's saying. And then he goes, Solomon in the Bible, is it Solomon?
No, Samson.
Samson in the Bible says this. Then I say something else. I don't know a lot of Bible quotation, but I will say what the Bible says. And we go, but the Bible says, it will also tell you the quote. That is where you need to answer. So I don't know what the church, I think the question here is, what is actually the church stand on a male child plaiting their hair? He currently plaits his hair, anyway, in case you see him on the road.
Yes, that is an interesting
what you just said, and we know that the church stand is that you don't, the male children should not plait their hair. But as we know, the world that we live in now is an evolving world. Things are no longer the way they used to be. A lot of things happen. And one thing we have to realize about children is for children, those things are a moment in time. It's a phase. They go through it and you move on. When Tabula and Uzezi were growing up, we used to live just 15 minutes away from church, but we were always late. Always late. They want to paint eye, paint nose. And to start with, my husband would say, I will leave and say, you're not doing that. We will wait. And I said to them, we will wait for you. When you finish, we will all go late. And I will say to God first, that's what has made them continue to be here. If I had said, bye-bye, the next time they're not going to come, and that will be it. Talking about hair plaiting. I go to Canada a lot, as you all know. In Canada, we have people with plait hair. Wole Shoyinka, hair rich like this. You name it, they have it. Pierced nose, pierced everything, they have it. I know the church, even our leaders, they go there, they see them.
They are talking to them.
They talk to them because one don't cut the hair now.
Yeah, it's got it.
It's what is there. Yeah. So it's a time, a moment in time, patience. For Professor, it might just be this year, but next year is like, can't be done with this. I don't know what to say. We don't direct what happens here. But I will encourage you and Bruce to let him come. Let him come. None of us here are ignorant that our children here plait hair. How much if they plait hair? When you don't plait and you go leave am for house, when you won't come church, you go remove am, you go come. Then one day he decided, it's too thick, I'm not doing it. And that was the end of it. Everybody with their own. Let us not lose our children because of that tiny little window where they just want to do something that they like. We all have things that we like. I get my own. If you see, sometimes you wonder, say, now she be women finish. But that is us. It does not take, God looks at what is inside here, not our actual appearance. So that's all I have to say.
The definition of inside.
Thank you. Sisters Wado.
And a lot today. But I just want to say something. Let us try not to compare our children with anybody's children. Even among the siblings, let us try not to do it.
because they are all different individuals. They have different pathways. My last child planted himself for over 4 years. And one day he called me out of the blue in Africa. Mommy, guess what? I took out the drug. I said, oh, really? You need to send mommy photos. So everybody have their pathways. So we've all said a lot of things. Comparing your child, and for those that are not quite there, you know, some of us, we have not experienced what teenager does at all. You haven't gotten to that stage. But you are quick to say, if that I became, by the time I will do this, sister, I say, wait, your turn will come. And when your turn comes, I pray God to give you the strength. Let us not be judgmental. Let us not jump into conclusion about anybody's child. Be proud of your own child. For the fact that they are not, whatever they are doing, God has given you that child. We are the custodians of that child. And God has given us the way to maintain them, the way to do the little we can do. Above all, let us leave it to God. But my last message to each and every one of us, do not compare your child with anybody's child. Yes. Nobody's child is better. My one is better. Your one is better. Let's celebrate them. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yes. Okay.
No,
online.
No. This is our day.
Although we go
house,
this,
but carry on.
When I was much younger in the church, we used to have the young girls. They used to dress. And I'm like, why are you dressing like this? As I grew, I began to understand that, okay, this is different. Calm down. So one day we had a session like this, and I don't know if anybody remembers anyway, but one of the sisters was being targeted by how the daughter dresses. And it made the woman actually cry. And then later, one other woman was talking in the queue, and I said to her, this, everybody gets in Job. I was quite young. I said, if this woman is like this, crying, then you know what she's going through at home.
Of course.
Sometimes you just need to share people's, you just need to feel it themselves. And I said to her one day, I said, I would prefer that my child comes to church with me naked than the child doesn't come at home. I said, I guess to a point, the child will see I'm the only one naked, and the child will wear clothes. If you see the children now, when I look at them, I just say, how did this happen? Because they kept coming, they are still here, and they dress better. So sometimes let us just be patient with them, let us pray. Like everybody has said, it is when you tell them, don't follow me, don't do this, you are losing them, you don't even know until they are gone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, Sister Yerome.
And those children,
Get your microphone because of people online. Because if you watch online,
yes. Yeah, and those children who've left, and those children who've left.
They've not left. They just know
they are on a different path.
That's why I promised to my daughter they're on holiday.
Children,
they will always come back. Because if my editor has given me a quotation like this, some of the quotations I'm not going to remember. Then they will quote and give me. I'll say, okay, I don't hear, ma. I don't hear, ma. But one day you will come.
That's so.
But the younger one, like the people they do now. I'm saying you come this Sunday, and the other Sunday if you tired, no problem. The other one will come. So we're going to calculate Sundays. And she's the kind of person that she's not very friendly, she's very quiet. Don't be like your mama, very quiet. So she likes to be by herself most of the time. So that's why sometimes, as soon as she comes after service, she will go. After service, she will go. But the only thing I do with them is that we are best of friends. Nothing they cannot discuss with me. Even if I didn't want to discuss menstruation with another one, say, Mommy, I know what it is, you don't need to tell me. But in my own time, do I know what menstruation is? Mommy did it with her business when I carry blood, because I say, Mommy, you go, but I say something bad for there. Mommy say, she this king carry me come, and at that time, what they use this kind of big pad. When you do a kind of start with waka, Mommy could say, no, close the leg, no, so they waka. So their own time, and our own time is different. So all we do now, we make friends with them. Me that work as a nurse practitioner, there are 3 areas that we look at: communication and language development. Then we look at physical development. Those areas that we look at is the way we see the children develop. And when the children start, we call it observation. We are observing them, and then we give feedback to the parents how the children are growing. Then before we transfer the children again to another session again, we are looking at those 3 areas just to see how the children are doing.
And that's where it starts, as you know. That's where you see that maybe the child is not developing properly, or maybe in speech, or maybe the way the child is focusing, or maybe the way the child is doing. You understand? So that is how we do with the children. And the children, they need our attention and love. And love. Like what Sister Rian said. Yes, sometimes the children, they look at what we do. Sometimes we get something we won't talk for yourself. We go call and we not like we do them. Because otherwise they will tell you, Mom, you said to me not to gossip and you are gossiping. Because they can see you doing it. Mom, you said not to talk about somebody, you are talking about this person. So all these things are the things, okay, that are also serious and do. So we, as a parent, we also need to give good example to our children and also let our children be our best of friend. I don't really COVID, and my daughter said she's moving and she's going. I said, okay, will they go? Say yes. When COVID starts, somebody knock on the door. Mommy, I've come back. I miss your I miss your food, mommy. And I miss the way you talk to me, mommy. I miss when you always come and check on me. All my friends that we all rented house, they all left me without me knowing. I was ending up being the only one paying for the flat. No, mommy, you know what? I've come back now. And I also miss talking to grandma. And that was it, before the bag, everything. I said, so you are only come to stay for 2 weeks again. He said, no, mommy, I'm coming to stay forever. That is how it is. I said, no, you don't stay forever, you will marry.
That's
When
all.
that time reach, you
Of
will marry.
course, by the
But
grace
I
of
want to have grandchild. Just
by
the
the
way
grace of
I
God.
also give grandma to grandchild, and then she will laugh. So that is how it is. So better we be best friend of our children. My mom, if I have any other friend, she's my best friend. Nothing, I cannot say anything with her. When I'm wrong, she'll tell me I'm wrong. When I'm right, she'll tell me I'm right. Okay? And before I will say, don't even go there. Even sometimes when I say, I'm not going to marry that, it's which when they come, which house they come, better than your husband. And you say, you won't marry, you must marry her. So these are all the things that we also learn from our parents. And the same thing we should also give to our children as well. That love and communication, we should be exemplars. They should be our best friend. So that's what I need to say.
Thank you.
Hello, sisters. We thank God for all what we'll be able to talk today. One thing I want to say, bringing up children is more the duty of the mother. Your children are always closer to you. No matter how wrong, anything bad they do, try to shield them. Then in your quiet moment, you always explain to them, say, look, you know that you will not like this thing. So, but don't just always be the side of your husband, 2 to 1. Try make them have a part of it. And the children of this generation, they are very sensitive. They know a lot. I say this, you know I have only one son, Voki. Even before Voki came over, he told me, he said, Mommy, you know I'm a man. Once I start having children, you won't be seeing my children like the way my wife's mom will see the children. And the children, whatever she wants to do with them, that's what. I said, I understand. And by God's grace, that is what is happening. And I take it the way it comes, so that we don't have barrier between us. So I want to enjoy all of us to listen to our children, communicate with them. They might not do what we want now, but by God's grace, they know the right thing. Our children are not bad children. They are not bad. They are individual. Even we, the parents, there are certain things we won't want somebody to tell us to do. So we should still look at them like that. By God's grace, we will all enjoy the fruit of our labor.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Sister Maureen, Sister Jumoke, and Sister Rian. Thank you. Thank you, Sister.